No, no, no. The what do you call it? The 4475.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. All right. All right. We are back, if you will. Let's see. Right. All right. Let me update the screen here. What up, modern day cowboy? So came back early. Here we are. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you guys are doing good. What up, Tita? What up? Let's see. Well, damn, Tita, you're in two places at the same time. How do you do that? See you pop up a month. Select source here. Collect off. Who else do we got in here? So right now I'm waiting for a call from Silas. She wants to put something on the record. Um, I just got a message from him when I was in the middle of a phone call, but I wasn't able to check it till I got off that phone call. So here we are. Here we are. I just spoke to him off of the phone or off of the live on the phone. What up, Jonathan? How's it going? All right, here we go.
This is call is Global now being Tellink. Recorded. You have a prepaid call from
Silas Johnson.
an incarcerated individual at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now.
Cinco.
Thank you for using Global Tellink.
Hello, hello.
Hey, what's up, Jay?
Hey, Silas. How are you doing tonight?
Man, a little riled up, man. A little fired up.
Man,
Yeah, had a had a near miss in the dining hall today, man, and you know, just just sitting here, just kind of spinning a little bit, man, spinning my wheels, you know.
yeah. No, so I mean, this would be the first time I would ever have, a phone call like this when something has happened to one of the, one of you gentlemen that's, come onto these calls with us, day after day, for the last almost 2 years now. I'm shocked. I'm shocked by that. But I mean, man, it is prison, and these things happen. Do you want to get into the events that transpired? So you could give us a clear picture of what's going on over there with you.
Yeah, shit, man. To be honest with you, man, I'm feeling like Pocket after that recording studio in Manhattan, man. You know what I'm saying?
I was about to say not
Yeah.
Pac. I was like not Vegas Pac because that one didn't turn out too well.
Nah, not Vegas. Nah, man, Manhattan Park, man. After that little shooting in Manhattan, man, like for real, like yeah. So man, the short of it is, man, there's this mentally unstable dude that's here, and he's had run-ins with three different dudes, and he's just been just off of his nut, you know, and there's been like some back and forth with him dropping notes and just all kind of bizarre stuff. And so for whatever reason, he fixated on me, and man, I was going through all of the proper channels, trying to get moved out of the building and whatnot, just so I can distance myself, you know, 'cause I have bigger fish to fry. So I was actually supposed to be getting moved to 3 building over there with Justin David tomorrow morning, and so I go to the dining hall, sitting down. I wouldn't even have went, but it's burrito night, so I go to eat my damn burrito, and uh, as I'm like literally spooning rice into my mouth, like I hear somebody closing in on me, bearing down, and before I can turn around, I feel a blow in my face, in the back, like where your bone is, where your jawbone is, like where the ball in the back. Like I feel a blow there, so I get up and I'm moving forward, and so like I raise my hands, you know, to cover up, because for those of you who don't know, there is no self-defense in CDCR. The minute I turn around and stop retreating, then it's a mutual combat. It's a fight, you know, and I'm an equal aggressor, and I'm receiving a write-up, which nullifies my ability to gain suitability next month. So I knew that this person is unstable, so I was just cognitively rehearsing in my head, okay, worst case scenario is this guy attacks you. Just put your hands up and back away from him, you know. But unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to do that because he attacked me from behind. So I'm moving forward, and so he's punching me on my back and my head. The guy's like 160 pounds, 165 pounds, so he's throwing Charmin, you know. And so I put my hand up, and you know, to block my vitals, like my head and my neck area. And so I feel another glancing blow on my wrist, and so the SEALs start saying and yelling, get down, and they start advancing to where we are. I can see them out of my peripheral. I still don't know who it is attacking me because I haven't turned around. Because if I turn around, then I'm gonna advance forward. So I just, you know, kept just going, just walking slowly forward, and he's just trying to punch me or whatever. So he turns around and runs, and when I turn around, I see that it's this individual, and he goes and dives down and phones out. And so they come over to me, shaking the pepper spray and telling me to phone out. So I get out on the ground, and they ask me to roll over, and I roll over, and they cuff me up, and they cuff him up and whisk him out of the dining hall. And so they stand me up after.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And they're walking me out. And so as they're walking me out, my hands are cuffed, so my hands are behind my back. And I see blood like all down my shirt, and I feel blood dripping down my chest because I don't have an undershirt on. I just have my scrub top on. And I asked the CO, is this my blood? And he's like, yeah, you're bleeding from your face. And so we go into medical, and they stripped me out. And while he was punching me, the 2 blows that I felt that landed were actually stab wounds. So he stabbed me in my face, in the back, like back by my jawbone, on my right side, like underneath. He stabbed me there, and he stabbed me in my wrist and sliced it. Like, and so these actual stab wounds but I didn't know. I just felt the blow. And so yeah, they're looking me over to see if I got any wounds in the other places. And so after that, the sergeant comes in there, and he can't get me to sign. He can't get me to sign a marriage chronicle fast enough. A marriage chronicle is like to where, hey, you guys aren't enemies, both of you guys can come back to the yard. Well, and so I tell him, like, you know, what are you talking about signing a marriage chronicle? Because I know, because the LVN tells me that I'm stabbed, because I can't see the wounds. You know, I see my wrist, but then I see either there's a laceration and a stab wound on my wrist, but I can't see my face. And the LVN tells the sergeant, like, well, did you guys find the weapon? And the sergeant is like, well, what weapon? And he's like, well, because he's busy trying to have me sign the chrono, and the LVN is like, well, he has puncture wounds in his face and in his wrist. Like, where's the weapon? So they go into the dining room and recover the weapon and process the dude and take the dude to the hole for battery with a weapon. So and they take me to the gym and have me sitting in the gym for like probably like an hour. And the LVN, gives me like some band-aids, some gauze, and cleans me up like my face, my wrist, and put some ointment and stuff on there. And asked me about a tetanus shot, and so I told him I didn't know that I actually had a tetanus shot in 2019. The last time I remember getting a tetanus shot was when I was 9, when I stepped on a nail playing in an abandoned building in Vegas. So he tells me that I don't need a tetanus shot, and yeah, so pretty much they have me sitting there. I'm sitting in there in the gym with just my shirt destroyed because my blood is all over the freaking shirt. And
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
All right.
trash bag, and tell me, yeah, well, you're good to go back to the cell. And yeah, so I came back, man, and called my family, let them know what happened, and man, but thank goodness I'm alright.
Hey,
Due to no help from CDCR.
so let me ask you. So normally, when somebody's attacked with a weapon, is that normal practice for a sergeant or the administration to okay for these two individuals to remain in the same building, or even the same yard?
No, when anyone is attacked with a weapon, the person goes to the hole who attacked, and the other individual is assessed. I mean, like technically, like if I would have told them, well, I don't feel safe on the yard, they would have removed me from the yard. But I mean, I signed off because I don't. I mean, the problem with this individual who you guys should have removed, like this mentally unstable person, you should have removed weeks ago, months ago. He's the problem, and hell, he's going to the hole for freaking stabbing me. So of course I don't have any safety concerns on the yard. Like so. But yeah, no, that's not normal practice, and there is no opportunity to if you commit a battery with SBI, like if you break someone's jaw or if you stab somebody, use a weapon on somebody, there's no option for you to sign a marriage promise. You guys are enemies, and that's it. They're moving. That person is going to the hole, and the victim is going to stay wherever he's at, assuming he doesn't, say that he can't be on the yard.
And that just seems like that's a recipe for a casualty or for disaster. If you allow two individuals to remain on the same yard. I mean, even in school, they're gonna remove you and from that situation. They're not gonna allow you they're not just gonna throw you back in there and see what happens. That just it doesn't seem like whoever's making the decisions knows what they're doing.
Well, and even let's just say hypothetically, right, that was the correct way of doing business. And it's a waiver, it's a form of protection for it removes exposure to CDCR if both people sign off because they're saying, okay, hey, we're cool. This is just a misunderstanding. We're good to be here together. Okay. But this individual, 3 previous times, has had violent confrontation with people. So how many times? 1, 2, 3, and then finally he picks up a weapon with me tonight. How many times do you let an individual continuously attack people in a facility and say, oh, hey, I'm good to go back. I'm good to go back. I'm good to go back. And one of the things that one of the officers told me the other night is, well, he keeps coming back because people keep signing marriage crowns. Well, a marriage crown, like I said, is stating that, hey, we're good, both of us can come back and coexist. Well, the reason why people do it is because if someone were to say, I don't want to be on the yard with him anymore, they're not going to remove him. They're going to remove the person that says they can't be on the yard with him. So the problem is going to remain. And they say, well, we're going to remove you if you can't be here. We're going to get you, we're going to take you to the hole. So the whole system, the way that they do business is just it's crap, and unfortunately, when you have a system like this that doesn't work, then things like this happen. I'm incredibly fortunate. Hell, I know it may sound crazy having been stabbed twice, but I'm incredibly fortunate because if you'd have been able to put together a half a decent weapon, hell, I could have been freaking dead, so, I mean, and they would have still opened up yard and ran store and day room, just like it was, like normal tomorrow, I'd have just been another story to tell about who, somebody that got murked on the prison yard,
Mm.
and it's due to these people's negligence.
You know what? Yeah, I've heard stories of them doing things like this, but never firsthand. You'll be the first individual that I know that this has happened to, and they're actually trying to practice what others are talking about. So it's quite ludicrous that previous individuals haven't signed off on it, just because they don't, they would be removed if they did otherwise. I mean, in theory, this could have been put to a stop, like what, or four assaults ago.
Yeah, three assaults ago. 3 assaults ago. So yeah, absolutely. It should have been like, I mean, in reality, like the food needs to be in a mental health facility, and the way that they handled it with 604, that unfortunately, this is the end result. And like I said, by,
You have 60 seconds remaining.
didn't have the wherewithal to make a decent weapon. Because, hell, I wouldn't be talking to you right now because that would have been it.
Hmm. Wow, wow, man. I know this call's about to hang up. If you want to go ahead and call back, we'll go ahead and get a little bit more details because obviously it didn't start today. It's been kind of a workup, on the other individual's side, and maybe we could go ahead and touch on
Right,
some of the other things that kind of has been going on, so everybody could get a clear picture of what's been transpiring over there.
right. All right.
All right, for sure. So hey, thank you guys for coming back. So yeah, originally, yeah, I was I wasn't planning to be back until 11, but yeah, when I was speaking to Ernie Silas, he had called me, but I wasn't aware that it was him. And then when I got off, I read a message and I sent him another message. So we're speaking, and he kind of gave me the basic rundown of what had happened over there.
This is Global Tel Link.
This call is
You
now
have a
being
prepaid
recorded.
call from
Silas Johnson.
an incarcerated individual at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now.
5 5.
Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello, hello.
Yeah.
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 So
So yeah. Go ahead.
no, you got it. You got it.
No, so like I said, like this individual needed to be in a mental health facility. The guy was actually EOP, which is enhanced outpatient, where people take hot meds and like so. So the guy clearly has mental health issues, and the facility constantly referred the guy to mental health, and mental health constantly kicked the guy back, and so like it turned into just one big like run and choke with custody here, like they just kind of just laughed it off, and hey, that's him, and every incident they just pretty much sweep the shit under the rug by having people sign off on it, and in the way that the method, in my opinion, the way that they have people sign off is freaking coercive, they're coercing people because people know what will happen if they don't, and so it's just it's just been a pattern of just incompetence and negligence, just all the way down the board. And so this individual, like probably like a month ago, he his habit is fixating on black, and the individual is Mexican, and he writes all kind of racial kites and leaves them on the ground, puts them in on medical systems, puts them in medical, and you know, like the dude wrote a note like on Saturday night, put it in the mailbox, and saying that signed my name. Well, he spelled it wrong, but he tried to write my name and put my cell number and said that that I was going to kill myself, all this, and they came and got me and took me up to Central Health and had me up there for 2 hours talking to a psychiatrist about if I wanted to harm myself, But the first thing that the clinician said when the CEO stepped out of the room is, without breaking confidentiality, I want you to know that we're trying to get this individual off the facility as soon as possible. So that right there told me everything that I needed to know. You guys know who this is. You know what's been going on. You were just ineffective, And so the kites and notes had started, like, it's been going on for like over a month. And, so, I mean, it's just something that's just been habitual, this individual doing this and like it being just like on the facility, like an ongoing, just a running joke that, yeah, he's crazy, But it's ironic that this happened tonight, right? Because I was over in another building talking to an officer, and I told the officer, because I was scheduling to move over there to this building tomorrow morning, and I said, it's all fun and games right now, but if this guy nuts up and attacks a correctional officer, I guarantee you that whoever it is, the correctional officer, is going to sue CDCR because they're going to be negligent because all of these things have happened and they've continuously kept this person here. And never in my wildest dreams would I be figuring that at 10:07 tonight I'd be freaking stabbed by this weirdo.
Man, it's so real because I mean I know I spoke to you, earlier on in the morning, and you were telling me where they had dropped that kite, saying that you were gonna harm yourself, and they ended up pulling you out of your cell, and you didn't have any clue what was going on, and then now a few hours later, we're having a whole totally different conversation where the same individual try to harm you.
Yeah, and hell, if he was a half-decent blacksmith, it'd be Jesse and David having this conversation with you, telling you what happened to me. You know what I mean?
So when everything happened, when everything was started up, was anybody else involved? Did anybody try to push him off, or was it just you, backing up on him when he was trying to attack you?
No, it was just, I mean, I was sitting at, it's a 4-man table, and I was sitting at the table, and he ran up behind me, and like there was no indication, like the people at my table, like said nothing, like, and it's just crazy, like I don't know, like it was just surreal, like I was caught completely unaware, and and I look at, I was telling my brother that it was a blessing in disguise, really. Well, not even in disguise, it was a blessing because had I seen him coming, then the real test would have been, especially seeing something in his hand, I would have reacted and I would have attacked him because I would have saw that he was armed, and if it had just been him coming and throwing a couple punches, I'd have just backed up, put my hands up, just glanced a couple blows, ducked a couple blows, and they would have came over there and either sprayed or he would have ran off before they sprayed. So hey, whatever, you know. But if I would have saw that he had a weapon, then that's a whole different ball game, because I'm thinking about Ford and my future and not getting an RVR for a dumbass fight, with somebody who's clearly freaking off his rocker, you know, and but if I saw that, then this is a whole different ball game. You're trying to mortally wound me. You're trying to take my life, and as much as I want my freedom back, I mean, I gotta live to enjoy it. You know what I mean? So, once I see that, if I would have saw that, then I know that I would have reacted out of gas, and then now, now he's, now this, now potentially he's the victim now.
And Ms. Vero wants me to
So,
ask you, how do you feel about this? And will this continue? Are they going to allow him? Do you think after whatever punishment he receives, do you think he's going to be allowed to back onto the same yard?
no, not while I'm here, because on paper now we're enemies. Once you attack somebody with a weapon, or you, like I said, if you break somebody's bone in their face, like break their jaw or something like that, like you guys are enemies, and you can never be on the same yard together. And like, let's say even if they're going to transfer him to another prison. Like, let's say if I wanted to leave this prison, when I got put up for transfer, if they found out that he was at the prison, then they wouldn't let me go to the prison because he's there. So they're going to document us as enemies.
Okay.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Well, that's if they don't drop the ball in theory, because I have heard stories of people that have been documented as known enemies, and somehow mysteriously they end up in the same yard, or in the same cell. So
Well, I well, you know what's so crazy, right? Now that you say that, right?
mhm.
My cellmate and I, my old cellie, we were cellies in Patch the Shoe. Well, we separated, and I went into the cell with somebody else, and they marked us down erroneously as enemies. So when we got to Kern Valley, we fell back up together because we went on the bus the same day. And so they came and said, "Hey, you guys got to step out of the cell." So we like, "Well, why?" So we step out, and they're like, "Hey, are you guys cool to be cellies?" And we were like, "Yeah, what? Yeah, we were cellies in the street." And they're like, "Well, you guys got to sign this marriage contract." And I was like, "Well, why?" And he said, "Well, we have you guys down as enemies," but they have us in the cell together.
Right.
Yeah, so that has happened. That has happened.
Yeah.
You're not the most professional here, you know.
So
Yeah, so
man, it's kind of hard to wrap around your head, just thinking of how they handle this, how they handle these type of situations. Kind of scary. I could only imagine, how you feel, your family feels, and just thinking about, how the cops were, joking about it, and everybody's joking about this individual, knowing that he's not playing with a full deck of cards, and is mentally unstable.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And now you have something like this happen. It's ridiculous, Ms. Beto, right? So I definitely agree with her on that one.
yeah, I mean it's crazy, man. Like just going through, just doing the right thing, just avoiding this guy. And I mean, this dude is, cursed me, said all kind of crazy stuff to me, while I'm walking across the yard, and I just, I got a bigger picture. I got a bigger goal in mind. I got a bigger fish to fry. So, I just walk by, whatever. I wouldn't even look at him. I wouldn't even acknowledge him. And but just to know that this, these administrators have just done, just like I said, such a piss poor job in corralling this person and getting this person to someplace, that he's supposed to be, as opposed to being here. And now it's just like, like before, before count time, like couple of COs came up to my door. I'm like, hey, are you okay? You need anything? Like, well, I needed something like 2 weeks ago. Like, I needed before tonight. Like,
Hmm.
I needed you to do your job before tonight. Now, no, I'm good now. Now I just need to call my attorney.
Hey, Silas,
Now I just need to call my attorney.
let me ask you something. So, were you when you were at the nurse's office, did they offer you eight ibuprofen 800 to, to make you feel better, or did they just bandage you up?
Nah, they didn't. I mean, they didn't offer me anything. Like he asked me about when was the last time I had a tetanus shot,
Yeah.
and I told him, when I was 9, because that's the last time I remember actually having a tetanus shot. And he went. I guess he went and checked my medical records, and anytime they offer like Hep Hep A or something vaccine or whatever, like I take it. So apparently he said in the file that I taken a tetanus shot in 2019. I don't remember, but and so I told him, well, okay, well that's great, but can I get another one? Because hell,
Yeah.
I don't trust, I don't trust my memory, and I don't trust, you guys. So he was like, well, I called the doctor, and she said it's going to be good until 2029. And I'm like, well, and I said, well, it wouldn't hurt me if you gave it to me, right? And he was like, no, it wouldn't hurt you. I said, well, okay, well, I want a tetanus shot. And he came back and they refused me.
Yeah.
So I asked for the doctor's name, and so I got the doctor's name for that. And I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Like, like they whisked me up to medical and had me sit there and wait for 2 hours for a bogus note that somebody put in saying that I'm gonna kill myself, but I get freaking stabbed and ask for a tetanus shot, and there's all this bureaucracy, and then ultimately I get a no.
Mm, I got a question from Kay Larson, and they want to know, does he think this will affect his parole hearing in any way?
I mean, hell, if anything, I mean, they assess your potential for violence, to offend, they assess you as a violent offender, your potential to reoffend violently. And I mean, if after tonight, I mean, this is not the clearest indicator that I'm.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
If tonight isn't an indicator that I'm not violent anymore, I mean, nothing is gonna do.
20 Moonstone 10 writes, they're gonna sweep all that under the rug, like they did nothing wrong.
And so hopefully, I asked my attorney if EPH would have access to the video. He said no, but they'd have access to the notes or whatever. So, I mean, I'm hoping that it'll help me in a positive way, because, I mean, I showed restraint, which is what they're looking for.
Yeah. And do the officers wear body cams there where you're at?
Nah, they don't wear body cams, but there are cameras everywhere. So there's cameras in the dining hall. There's cameras everywhere, even in the terminals.
All right. So this call was came to an end right now. As you guys should be familiar, they only last for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, they're automatically cut off. Yeah, he didn't react. Yeah. So I mean, it's prison. I mean, even though if it's a yard that doesn't get that many incidences, things like this still happen. So yeah, it's scary. Definitely scary.
This is Global Tel Link. You
This
have a
call is now
prepaid
being
call
recorded.
from an incarcerated individual at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now.
Cinco.
Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, I'm there.
So I want to read out some of these comments here from our audience that is listening to the conversation right now. Let me see. We got one from Chacha. She put, "Lord protect him." We got one from Matthew. He writes, "Glad Silas is okay." Let me see. Let me see. Ali writes that this is scary. Ms. Vero wrote, "Yeah, he didn't react," which I think was a positive thing. That definitely is going to help you, when you go in front of the parole board, because like you said, if you saw him coming with a weapon, who knows? You really don't know until you're actually in that type of situation how you gonna react. And let me see here through these messages here. Let's see. And also, Ms. Vero writes, "We're on the streets, we stress about our loved ones in there as it is now. So yeah, there's just something else to worry about now. If something like this happens and your loved ones are going to be super stressed out." Ellie Marie wrote, "I can't believe this happened to him. My goodness." Matthew wrote, "Praying for you, Silas. Keep your head up, man." Uh, let me see. Oh, Kay wants to know when is your parole board hearing going to be?
It's going to be next month, June 25th, at 8:30 a.m.
Okay, so a little bit over a month. Kind of crazy, that this happened, so close to your board of parole date. Just when you're, when you have that
You
chance
know,
of freedom.
yeah, and like, I don't know, it's kind of surreal, man. Like I'm sitting here and like I'm oddly like reflective and you know, even thankful for the way, that ultimately that, in spite of, a couple wounds that I suffered, like, you know, things worked out in my favor because, I mean, I'm going to be victorious. In the end, like, I look at it like this, unfortunately, since the age of 15, I've spent most of my life committing harm to people, to people I don't know, to people I know, and in some cases to people I love, you know. And if me practicing a little bit of restraint today and a little bit of the little bit, the small bit, and I'll say small bit of suffering compared to all of the harm that I've committed, caused on people. If this is the price to pay, for me on the road back to everything that I've ever wanted, then I mean, I'm willing to pay that price. Like I'm not going back to the person that I used to be. I'm not going back to all of the destruction that I caused. And if it means me showing restraint in a time like this, or even in the future, then that's what I'm gonna do. I mean, by no means I won't tout that I'm a pacifist, by any means. Like I'm not gonna let anybody take my life from me, but situational, if it's somebody who is, if it's somebody that I've learned that, I don't have to attack somebody to defend myself, and if there's force necessary that I have to do, if I have to use force, then I'll assess it in that moment. But ultimately, my goal is not to harm anybody. My goal is not to harm another human being ever again, for the rest of my life. And, and tonight I passed that test, and tonight, I practiced restraint, and I mean, hell, I got a couple puncture wounds, but
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
really the only thing that's hurt is my pride, and my psyche from struggling with the fact that this is so counterintuitive to everything I've ever done, but I'm I'm a new proof. I'm not that person anymore. I'm a scholar. I'm a college graduate. I'm a father. You know, I'm all of the things that I've been wanting to be, and I take this a million times more to just continue on this path that I'm on right now.
Yeah, that's huge right there. And I want to read out some of these other comments here. We got one from Reina. She writes prayers to him. I can hear he has changed and not returning to the past. And let me see. And for the love of she wrote sad but a good example that can be used at his hearing to prove you can handle situations like this. The hurt hurt pride but doesn't define one's pride.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's it's kind of difficult to stomach tonight, but like I said, like the thing that the thing that is kind of lifting me up is all of the people that love me and support me. The bottom line is if I turn around and start attacking this individual, then I'm losing an opportunity to build a relationship with my daughter. To be a support system to her, to be there on site for her. I'm losing an opportunity to enroll in a master's degree program to build my career. I'm losing an opportunity to build this media company that I founded. I'm losing an opportunity to release this new book later this year. I'm losing an opportunity to be free, to have autonomy, to live my life, and enjoy my romantic relationship with the woman I love. Like, I'm losing all of that. I'm losing the money that my brother had paid my attorney to represent me at BPH. All of that, all of the struggle that I've gone through, you know, would be for nothing. All of the sacrifices that people made who love me would be for nothing. I gotta make that mean
Yeah, yeah. And I got a question from one of our audience members, Kay Larson. He wants to know what does he think will be the most challenging when released and face the real world.
something. Probably just reacclimating, reacclimating to the world that's a quarter century is a year older and faster and newer with technology and just more. I'm gonna have an adjustment, as far as the technology component. I'm a quick learner. I'm an experiential learner, but probably one of the struggles that I think I have the most is just how impersonal everyone in the world seems. Everyone seems so fickle out there and so impersonal, so plastic, and and this is just from my bird's eye view. I'm in a fishbowl right now, but just looking from my vantage point, it seems like nobody values people anymore or experiences. They just value things. And I'm not that type of person, so I think it's going to take some time for me to adjust to people like that.
Yeah. And then let me see. Let me see. Oh, and we got 20 Moonstone writes good night. She writes good night. So hey, thank you 20 Moonstone for that. And let me see. Yeah, so that's yeah. I'm trying to go through the comments. So I do appreciate you guys showing support to Silas, for his his current situation and what he's going through. Um, but yeah, it's definitely a rude awakening. It is prison. Things like this. Uh, I think this is the first time that I've had somebody that I do talk to on a daily basis or a weekly basis. Have something like that happen to an individual. Um, but it's a constant reminder that it is prison and it's unpredictable, just like the real world is unpredictable. You never know what life's gonna throw at you.
Yeah, this is like you said, this is unpredictable. It's prison, and despite your best efforts, I mean, it's still a dangerous place, and a lesson today, taught me just to, you gotta keep your head on the swivel. I've developed the the character of somebody who I don't need to watch my back, anymore because I'm not out actively getting harmed. But
Hmm.
this is still a place where people are unstable and things happen, and you just need to constantly keep your head on the swivel. And this is kind of sobering. It's kind of a reminder for me as well, like that, although I'm operating as a citizen because I'm returning, preparing to return to society, I still need to be cognizant of where I am at all times, So it's definitely was a wake up call.
Yeah, yeah, and
I'm not home yet.
yeah, it is. It is. I've heard people refer to a Centinela the yard as a soft yard, but things like this happen and like sheesh, like
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
an incident like this happens and it puts
You want
everything
to
into
hear something?
perspective. Yeah, go ahead.
You want to hear something really, really like just hilarious? I tell people all of the time, like my brothers and anybody, that I talk to about this place, like, this is the least violent yard that I've ever been on. I told her, I said, camp is harder than this yard. I've been here for 4 years and I haven't seen one person get stabbed. I hadn't gone 4 weeks in general population without seeing somebody getting stabbed. And, and I'm the first person that I know that gets stabbed in this yard.
Man, yeah, life will do that to you sometimes, right?
Yeah, man. But man, everything is as it should be, man. And man, I got angels all around me, man. And nothing is gonna stop what has been ordained, man. Like I, I'm I'm set, man. And this is just destiny, man. This is just all a part of it.
Yeah. So I know our call's about to be ending in about I think like 2-3 minutes. Is there anything that you want to leave our audience with before we part ways for the night?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for their love and support. I'll see you right back. And, man, thank you for having me on tonight. I just feel like coming on here and just kind of expressing a little bit, man, and processing. Um, it's just crazy to I'm still it's still kind of surreal, but man, thank you for having me on. And, yeah, anybody out there who has a loved one incarcerated, make sure you check up on them. And not just, when you ask them how you doing, mean it, and be there to listen and find out what's going on because you never know what's happening below the surface. And, yeah, like I said, I send my love out there to all my family. I love y'all, and I'm good. And we got it. And bring it home.
For sure, for sure. Let me see. Ali Marie writes, I'm about to go to bed and think about and thank you. Ms. Vero 559 writes, stay blessed, Silas. Matthew wrote, welcome, Silas. And then for the love of writes, stay focused on the end goal. Lisha writes, James, thank you for listening to Silas and sharing this. Jen wrote, stay focused, keep that head on that swivel. Hell yeah. You gotta, you might need to start wearing those National Geographics around your jacket, Silas. You should, rule number one, Silas, come on. You should have been having those National Geographics on you.
Man, I need a Pacific.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Pacific.
They trying to assassinate the president. I feel like Trump, man. They trying to assassinate the president, man, around his feet.
Oh man, hey, well, hey, man, I'm glad you're okay, Silas. You got a few cuts and whatnot, a few nicks. So, man, I'm glad it wasn't anything worse. But hey, I do appreciate everybody that tuned in today. Appreciate Silas, and I am Collect Call James. We are watching. You have a collect call from, and like I said right here, life's like a candle. Once you blow it out, it's lights out. And with that, we are out for the night. Guys, have a good one. All right.